Imagine being told over and over again by strangers, doctors, even family. If you just lost weight, your problems would go away. Now imagine that every time you did try to lose weight, the problem wasn't your willpower, but the system around you. That's the world Aubrey Gordon lays bare in her book, You Just Need to Lose Weight. It's not a diet book. It's not a memoir. It's a sledgehammer to 19 of the most common and most damaging myths about fatness, health, and worth. And in this video, we're breaking down the first set of those myths, the ones that come dressed up as concern or health advice. Instead, they are actually just ideas laced with stigma, bias, and misinformation. So stick around, because myth number 5 might change how you feel about your next doctor visit. And look for our part 2 video, because there we'll unpack the cultural-related myths, the ones shaping media, morality, and how we treat people in public. But first, let's start with the lie baked into the title of Gordon's book. Myth number 1. You just need to lose weight. This is the most common phrase fat people hear, whether it's online, in offices, or even from your friends and family. And they say it as if it is so simple, right? Like there's a switch you haven't flipped yet. But Gordon makes one thing painfully clear. Most fat people have tried to lose weight. Many have tried for years, some even decades. And yet studies show that 95% of people who lose weight on diets gain it all back within 3 to 5 years. Some even more than they lost. This isn't a willpower issue, it's biology. Our bodies fight weight loss with slowed metabolism, increased hunger hormones, and long-term set point regulation. So when someone says, just lose weight, what they're really saying is, override your body's natural systems permanently, or you're to blame. It's not advice, it's a judgment. Myth number 2. Being fat is a choice. We don't assume height is a choice, or foot size, or skin tone. And yet when it comes to fatness, we treat it like a moral failure. But here's what Gordon points out. Body size is influenced by hundreds of factors. Genetics, medications, socioeconomic status, access to food, trauma history, chronic illness, and even just elevated chronic stress all shape weight. And for many people, dieting doesn't solve weight. It creates a cycle of shame, restriction, and rebound. To believe fatness is a choice is to ignore every person who's done everything right and still exists in a larger body. It's a belief that says, if you don't fit the mold, you're not trying hard enough. That's not health science, that's cultural bias. Myth number 3. BMI is a useful tool. Let's pause here, because BMI comes up a lot. Body, mass index. Doctors use it, schools use it, insurance companies love it. It's the ratio of your weight to your height. But do you know where it came from? Gordon explains. BMI was never meant to measure individual health. It was invented in the 1800s by a mathematician, not a physician, who wanted to measure the ideal man. Not ideal in terms of health, ideal in terms of symmetry, as in proportions. And yet today, we treat BMI like a diagnostic tool, even though it doesn't account for muscle mass, bone density, or ethnicity. Many professional athletes are classified as obese by BMI standards. Worse, BMI cutoffs were shifted in the late 1990s overnight, changing millions of people from healthy to overweight without a single pound gained. It's a tool of bureaucracy, not medicine, and yet we act like it's gospel. Myth number 4. Fat people are unhealthy. Here's where things get even messier. We've all been told that fatness leads to heart disease, diabetes, and early death, but correlation isn't causation. Gordon dives deep into the research that shows people can be fat and still be metabolically healthy, meaning their body is healthy on the inside. People can be thin and have heart disease. Weight stigma, yo-yo dieting, and medical neglect are often bigger health risks than fatness itself. And here's a stat to sit with. The stress of being stigmatized, of being told you're a problem, a burden, a failure, can actually lead to being unhealthy, causing things like inflammation, high blood pressure, and mental health strain. In other words, the shame society heaps on fat people isn't just cruel, it's making people sick. Myth number 5. Doctors are objective. This one might sting. We like to believe that when we walk into a doctor's office, we're getting science, evidence, unbiased care. But Gordon shares story after story of fat people being told to lose weight when they come in for a sprained ankle, or a cough, or depression, ailments completely unrelated to being overweight. Medical research shows that doctors tend to spend less time with fat patients, make more assumptions, and delay diagnoses. One woman in the book wasn't diagnosed with cancer until it had spread, because every appointment started with try losing weight as the advice and solution. It's not just anecdotal. In one study, medical students admitted they believed fat patients were lazy, non-compliant, and less deserving of care. This matters, because when weight becomes the assumed cause of all symptoms, real illnesses get missed. Gordon isn't saying doctors are evil. She's saying medical bias exists, and it costs lives. Myth number 6. Fat people are a burden on the healthcare system. Ever heard this one? It usually shows up in political debates or social media threads. They're driving up costs. They take up too many resources. But when you zoom out, it falls apart. First, many fat people avoid doctors entirely due to shame, dismissal, or trauma, so they're not overusing services. Second, public health costs are driven by many factors, like aging populations, private insurance overhead, and pharmaceutical pricing, not just body size. And finally, even if fat people did need more care, that doesn't make them a burden. We don't call cancer patients a burden, or kids with disabilities, or elderly people. Similarly, fat people may not have any control over being fat. So, calling fat people a drain isn't about economics, it's about dehumanization. Myth number 7. Fat people are lazy. This one's so baked into our culture that people often say it without thinking. In job interviews, in gym ads, in sitcoms, in dating profiles. But research consistently shows that fat people are no more lazy and often more active than people assume. Many have dieted, exercised, and done everything right, only to be blamed when their bodies don't shrink. And let's be real, laziness isn't exclusive to any body type. Gordon challenges this myth by asking a bigger question. Why do we link productivity to morality? Why do we assume that people who work out more are better people? She's not shaming health. She's questioning why we treat thinness like evidence of virtue and fatness like proof of failure. Myth number 8. Fat people don't care about their health. If you take away nothing else from this video, let it be this. Fat people think about their health all the time. They are constantly told to change. They're monitored, shamed, lectured, and targeted by every product promising a new you. They often do exercise, track food, take medications, and do blood work. The idea that fat people are reckless or negligent is just another way of blaming them for not being thin. Gordon writes, "When people say they care about my health, what they really mean is they care about my weight." And she makes a powerful case that real care is respecting someone's autonomy, listening, believing them. So, what do we do with all of this? Gordon's not arguing against health. She's asking, what would health look like if it wasn't measured by appearance or a person's weight on the scale? If we stopped treating thinness as a moral badge, if we stopped punishing people for the size of their body, if doctors listened, if strangers held their opinions, if we all took a breath before assuming. There's a reason these myths persist. They make us feel like we're in control, that the world is fair, that if we just work hard enough, we'll be worthy. But in truth, weight is not the problem. Weight stigma is. So look out for our next video, where we'll dive into part 2. We'll unpack the rest of the myths Gordon lays out in her You Just Need to Lose Weight book. How these myths show up in media, schools, dating, parenting, and public spaces. And why fat acceptance isn't about giving up, but finally, standing up. So, if this video made you think differently about people's weight and being tagged as fat versus thin, even for a second, drop a comment below. Have you heard these myths in your own life, or maybe caught yourself believing them? Hit like if you want more book summaries like this, and don't forget to subscribe. Part 2 is coming next, and it's where things get even more personal. We'll see you there.